Ah, Elden Ring, the game where you willingly subject yourself to grueling challenges and then celebrate your triumphs like a masochistic hero. My name is Devotee, and I'm here to take you on a journey through my Elden Ring achievement hunting experience. So there I was, basking in the glory of my completed achievements in the vibrant Hotline Miami 2, when suddenly, the community came knocking. They demanded that I take on a new challenge, and after a heated vote, Elden Ring emerged as the victor, beating out the cozy and charming Stardew Valley by a mere 4 votes. I wouldn't say no to the challenge. Little did I know what I was getting myself into. Speaking of votes, I need your help. My amazing moderators have suggested 4 awesome games for me to tackle next, but I can't decide what to choose. Will it be the spine-tingling Amnesia, The Dark Descent? The captivating BioShock Remastered? The charming Stardew Valley? Or the action-packed Killing Floor 2? The power's in your hands, so what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description, cast your vote, and let's make some history. As soon as I fired up Elden Ring for the first time, I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to show the world that I could take on the toughest bosses in this game all by myself without any help from co-op partners. So I decided to not do any of the multiplayer stuff for my first run and focus on the story bosses. But let me tell you, when I first stepped foot into the world of the Lands Between, I was completely overwhelmed. The tutorial flew by in a blur and I barely understood any of it. All I knew was that I was in for a wild ride. As I made my way through the eerie and haunting landscapes, I couldn't help but feel a sense of both awe and dread. Every corner held a new surprise, a new enemy waiting to test my skills. But I was determined to conquer them all, one by one. After stumbling around like a lost puppy for what felt like an eternity, I finally stumbled upon the Gatefront ruins. It was here that I decided to get serious about combat and train like a true warrior. I spent a solid hour practicing my moves and perfecting my attacks. But my training was cut short when I decided to run past the gate and explore what lay beyond. Little did I know that I was about to meet my new best friend and mentor, Melina. She saw that I was maidenless and offered to be my girlfriend, but only if I helped her reach the Erd Tree. And to sweeten the deal, she gave me the sick ring that summons a horse named Torrent.
Tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Can I have a second to heal? Thank you. Shit, I don't know when to time my... Jesus. Holy hell, talk about a brutal introduction. The first time I encountered Margit, I was completely caught off guard, and I got my ass handed to me on a silver platter. I mean, what else was I supposed to do? I was just a clueless newbie trying to survive in a world full of vicious monsters and deadly traps. So what did I do? I fled like a coward and went back to farming. Don't judge me, I didn't know any better. Between Margit attempts, I rested at the Grace in the tunnel and decided to go to the Round Table Hold. I got my first achievement, which was a nice sign that I'm at least able to do something in this game. Returning to Margit, I learned to pay close attention to his attack patterns and not to heal too close to enemies in general. I also learned not to be greedy with my attacks and to lock my door during Elden Ring streams so I wouldn't get interrupted in the middle of a boss fight. Trust me, it's not fun trying to dodge a giant hammer swing while also trying to answer questions from a small child. Most importantly, I discovered the existence of non-multiplayer summoning signs. I mean, who knew that you could call an AI companion to assist you? After learning that, Margit didn't stand a chance. It was a hard-fought victory, but Rogier and I stood triumphant. It felt amazing to finally overcome such a tough enemy. Sneaking my way into Godric's castle, I stumbled upon a cute dog. Little did I know, just outside of the dog's room, an entire army of assholes with flamethrowers awaited me. But through trial and error and perseverance, I managed to triumph over them and continue my journey. Between streams, I caved and bought a controller to see if it was really that much better than using a mouse and keyboard. I began the Godric fight with all the lessons I learned from Margit. However, even with all that experience, I still got my ass handed to me for almost an hour. That's when I decided to take a break and explore the castle a little bit more. It was during this exploration that I stumbled upon Nephili Lu, a relative of a boss I would face later on. As it turns out, she too despises Godric and offered to help me kill him. With the help of Nephili, I finally made it to Godric's second stage where he did something utterly disgusting. He amputated his own arm and attached a dragon head to it. He's gonna grow. Okay. Oh no.
Lend me thy strength.
Oh shit. It's alive now. Oh jeez. The second stage meant a whole new set of attacks to learn how to avoid. Luckily, I didn't have to spend too much time fighting him because during this attempt, I got low and backed off, allowing my jellyfish and Nephili to finish him off. I got the Shardbearer Godric achievement and continued on my way. At the Round Table Hold, I met Enya the Finger Reader and the Fingers. The remembrances they offer provide valuable items from defeated bosses, and I was particularly drawn to the Axe of Godric in the remembrance of the Grafted. Even though I didn't have the required stats to wield it at the time, I made a plan to level up and improve my skills so I could use it effectively. From under the castle, I emerged into Liurnia of the Lakes. I met a sorcerer who was looking to get back into a college. Sorry nerd, not into magic. See ya. I stumbled upon a lady in a beautiful stone gazebo and engaged in conversation. She revealed that her master had sent her on a mission, but her necklace was stolen by a ruffian who happened to also be a tarnished. She asked me if I could retrieve the necklace for her, and of course, I agreed to help. She directed me to the shack where the thief was hiding, but I couldn't find it at first and ended up forgetting about the quest for a while. Later on, I met White Mask Var, who congratulated me on obtaining a Great Rune and expressed his distrust of the Fingers. He then gifted me with some bloody severed fingers, which allowed me to invade other players' worlds. Despite the fun of invading another player, I ended up neglecting this quest as well. As I wandered through the desolate Laskia ruins, I stumbled upon a stone gazebo that housed a mysterious portal. Despite the uncertainty and potential danger, I decided to take a chance and leap through the portal, hoping it would lead me to the academy I was searching for. Fortunately, the portal transported me to my desired destination, but my excitement was short-lived as I soon realized that I still needed to acquire a glintstone key to progress further. Later, while exploring the area, I stumbled upon the shack where the necklace thief was hiding. After a brief conversation, I realized he was not going to return the stolen necklace willingly, or without a price. Not wanting to spend runes on this necklace, I had no other option but to fight him. After defeating the thief easily, I returned to Rhea with the necklace in hand. She was grateful and praised my skills, even offering me an invitation to join her faction at Volcano Manor. It was a tempting offer, but I wanted to explore more of the world before committing to a specific faction. Again, I had no idea what kind of game I was playing. As I made my way to Caria Manor, I had to sneak past strange creatures that looked like spiders but made out of fingers. Along the way, I encountered Royal Knight Loretta. Though I probably could have defeated her, I decided to bide my time and return to face her later. After finding the map fragment for the center of Liurnia, I was finally able to find where the glintstone key was on the map that I found earlier at the gate. And of course it's behind a dragon. Where else would it be? Pants filled with feces, I ran behind the dragon and grabbed the key before meeting an untimely demise.
you can lock on.
Wow. That did a lot of fucking damage. Jesus. At last, I could enter the academy and achieve an education to better my life. The Red Wolf of Radagon was a formidable opponent, constantly using magic and hopping around at lightning speed. The path to reach the boss fight was also filled with enemies that could chip away at your health. With no summon signs available, it was just me and my Spirit Ash summon. I have to say, this was probably my least favorite achievement fight in the game. I often found myself dodging way too early out of frustration and getting hit anyway. After a ton of complaining and raging, I finally managed to defeat the Red Wolf of Radagon and earned my well-deserved achievement. Moving on from the Red Wolf of Radagon, I faced a Carrion Knight who proved to be quite agile. However, I was able to take him down rather quickly. Inside of the library, I encountered a depressed librarian and her strange daughters. The first stage of this boss fight was relatively easy, providing a welcome break from the intense battle with the Red Wolf. The second stage was more challenging, but I was able to overcome it without too much difficulty. Tired of boss fighting, I went dungeon crawling to level up a bit and just take a break from bosses. I made it underground and explored around a little bit. I went further to the south and explored the besieged Castle Morn. At the end of exploring Castle Morn, I faced the boss Leonine Misbegotten. Despite its intimidating name, the boss proved to be fairly easy as my attacks frequently staggered it, leaving it open to further damage. The boss lacked a noticeable second stage, and its attacks were very predictable. After defeating it, I earned the Leonine Misbegotten achievement. I returned to the librarian, and one ass-kicking was overdue. It was crucial to retreat while one of her summons was still alive in order to survive the fight. Overall, the battle was relatively easy, and I was able to earn both the Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, and Great Rune achievements. With my increased strength and skills, I returned to Carrion Manor to face the Royal Knight Loretta once again. Dodging her projectiles was key in defeating her, and it wasn't a particularly challenging fight. Nevertheless, I was rewarded with the Royal Knight Loretta achievement. I was eager to explore the next section, Altus Plateau, but first I had to defeat the magma worm named Makar. Despite only dying once, I managed to defeat him and earned the Magma Worm Makar achievement. The remainder of this session was dedicated to exploring the Altus Plateau and attempting to complete the Volcano Manor questline. During this session, I completed Var's PvP quest, which I found to be quite enjoyable. I also encountered Moog, but he proved to be too difficult for me, so I backed off. Later, I fought the top employee of Pizza Hut, and surprisingly, I managed to defeat him. I guess I can out-Pizza the Hut. The rest of my time was spent attempting to defeat the Draconic Tree Sentinel. One frustrating moment during this fight was when my Mount Torrent died, and I had difficulty reviving him because the first option was no instead of yes. I wondered why yes wasn't the default option, and I feel like that's just kind of a bad design. After defeating the Draconic Tree Sentinel, I continued on towards the Erd Tree. As I made my way through the capital, I stumbled upon Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Despite dying a few times, I managed to defeat him and earned the Godfrey First Elden Lord achievement. I encountered Morgott for the second time and was promptly obliterated for about an hour. However, as experienced Elden Ring players know, every death provides a valuable learning opportunity and brings us closer to defeating the boss. Finally, I managed to defeat Morgott and earned the Shardbearer Morgott achievement. I finally stumbled upon Melina once again. She wanted to help me enter the Erd Tree by burning it. First, I had to find the rolled route, but of course, I went the wrong way like a clueless adventurer. I stumbled upon the Ariza Hero Grave, where I faced my least favorite fight yet. It wasn't even the right place to go, so all of my frustration was for nothing. The Crucible Knights were a nightmare to deal with. As if one tanky and hard-hitting enemy wasn't enough, I got to face two at the same time. And just to add insult to injury, they both had a second stage, making it a total of 4 different movesets to memorize. I was so overwhelmed that I had to end the session with the classic rage quit. Unfortunately, I forgot to highlight my 7th session, but luckily I have a clip of my reaction to Radahn's second stage transition. Oh fuck, where is he?
Oh.
He just jumped.
It's almost dead.
Oh fuck, he's gonna. Oh fuck, here it comes! Oh shit! What the fuck? What the fuck? I managed to defeat Radon on my second attempt and earned the Radon achievement, but that was the only achievement I obtained during that session. Feeling stuck and unable to defeat the Crucible Knights, I decided to explore other areas for potential progress. During my exploration in Caelid, I stumbled upon a wizard who is in search of an unalloyed gold needle. Continuing my journey in the swamp, I encountered Commander O'Neill and his numerous summons. Despite the overwhelming number of enemies, the fight proved to be relatively easy as O'Neill's moves were pretty predictable. After defeating him, I obtained the much needed unalloyed gold needle and returned to the wizard in the shack to fulfill his request. After spending hours trying to find a way forward, I remembered there's a giant hole that was created after defeating Radon. Venturing into the crater, I discovered an upper portion of the underground to explore. After some more exploration, I came across the boss fight against a copy of myself. To be honest, it was the most underwhelming boss fight I've ever encountered in any video game. Nevertheless, defeating my doppelganger earned me the Mimic Tier achievement. After aimlessly lighting 4 fires, I stumbled across a boss fight. It turns out that lighting 6 specific pillars is necessary to access this boss fight outside the temple. Touching the horned remains teleported me to the arena, where I faced an easy but visually stunning boss, an undead deer with regal antlers. One of its moves allows it to heal, so interrupting it during casting is crucial. Defeating this boss earned me the Regal Ancestor Spirit achievement. As I delved deeper into Noxtella, I stumbled upon a stone sword key wall and managed to unlock it. To my delight, I found the best summon in Elden Ring, the Mimic Tier Ashes. This summon creates a duplicate of myself, which may deal less damage but has significantly more health and serves as an excellent distraction. With this new ally by my side, I felt more prepared to face the challenges ahead. It was like watching a toddler try to fight a couple of grizzly bears with a pool noodle. My Mimic Tier Ashes were completely useless without being upgraded. I thought that I could take on the Crucible Knights a few more times before ending the stream, but they made mincemeat out of me like a blender making smoothies. I ended up rage quitting yet again, feeling like I had accomplished as much as a hamster running on a wheel. As I faced off against the Crucible Knights yet again, I decided to switch up my tactics. Previously, I would immediately summon the Mimic Tier to divert attention from Ordovis and focus on the spear-wielding knight. While this did some damage, it wasn't particularly effective as the Mimic would usually die before I made very much progress on the Spear Knight. So, my new approach was taking out the Spear Knight first before summoning the Mimic to assist with the Sword Knight. It made the initial phase a little bit more challenging, but splitting the aggro made the second stage a much more manageable affair. I felt a huge sense of satisfaction seeing the Crucible Knights finally dead, despite not receiving an achievement for it and the fact that it wasn't even the intended path. On top of that, I also obtained a new set of armor that not only looked stylish, but also didn't slow me down too much when I was trying to dodge. I found my final target for the Volcano Manor assassinations among the mountaintops of the Giants. It turned out to be the toughest fight out of all the assassinations. The enemy was incredibly agile and his weapons had a lot of range, making it difficult to get close to him without getting hit. I entered Castle Saul and came face to face with a familiar enemy, Commander Neil. I guess he lost his O somewhere. I found his attacks to be very predictable, and I was able to defeat him after just a few tries. With his defeat, I earned the Commander Neil achievement and continued on my journey. As I approached the towering crucible, I stumbled upon the fire giant. I somehow managed to defeat him with just one attempt. It was almost too easy. In my New Game Plus playthrough, I struggled against him countless times, but my first time I emerged victorious in a flash. With the Fire Giant defeated, I acquired the Fire Giant achievement, and Melina was able to set the Erdtree ablaze, granting me the Erdtree Aflame achievement. I remembered to collect my reward for killing Juno earlier by returning to Volcano Manor. Unexpectedly, I was asked to meet with their lord, which I gladly accepted. The game gave me the Serpent Hunter, the only weapon that can effectively take down the Volcano Manor Lord. With my trusty Mimic taking all of the damage, I made quick work of Rykard and earned the Shardbearer Rykard achievement without breaking a sweat. I discovered the Godskin duo in Farum Azula and was immediately intimidated because I thought this was going to be another Crucible Knights situation. I applied the same strategy that worked with the Crucible Knights, kill one and gang up on the other with my Mimic tier. It took a few times to get to know their movesets, but in the end I prevailed. I got the Godskin Duo achievement. In Farum Azula, I stumbled upon a gazebo hidden behind a giant white dragon. To my delight, I discovered an ancient, somber smithing stone, the last one I needed to fully upgrade my trusty Axe of Godric. As the satisfying sound of metal clanging against metal filled the air, I earned the coveted God-slaying armament achievement. I descended back into the underground, but this time in a different section than before. As I lit all the pillars and entered the temple similarly to last time, I was filled with a sense of anticipation. Upon touching the set of horned remains, I realized that the ancestor spirit was no match for my heightened abilities. It was too easy. Nevertheless, I claimed the Ancestor Spirit achievement with a sense of satisfaction. Returning to Farum Azula, I challenged the formidable Malekith the Black Blade. It took me a good few attempts to learn his attack patterns, but with the help of the Mimic tier, I was able to take some aggro off and heal when needed. Although I felt defeated at times, I finally defeated Malekith and earned the Malekith the Black Blade achievement. I went back to the underground to take on a boss that I had missed earlier, but I knew exactly where to find it. Defeating the Valiant Gargoyles was a piece of cake. Additionally, I had recently acquired the Radon armor, which provided me with strong protection while still allowing me to maintain a medium roll. After the fight, I was rewarded with the Valiant Gargoyles achievement. Next on my to-do list was Shardbearer Moog, but I decided to put it on hold because Couchbaby, who is always full of wise advice, had told me about a crystal tier that could greatly aid me in this fight against Moog. I followed his instructions to find it, which involved entering this church from a specific side and defeating a phantom that appeared upon trying to leave. After defeating this phantom, I received the Purifying Crystal tier. With the help of the Purifying Crystal tier, I finally took on Shardbearer Moog. The tier greatly reduced the damage I took from his Uno, Duo, Trace attacks, allowing me to focus on dealing damage while he channeled them. Not today, Satan. I emerged victorious and earned the Shardbearer Moog achievement. While exploring the murky depths of the underground rot swamp, I stumbled upon a curious coffin and decided to take a nap in it. To my surprise, when I woke up, I found myself transported to a new mysterious area. It was there that I faced off against Astel, Natural Born of the Void, easily the most peculiar boss I've encountered in Elden Ring thus far. Despite Astel's otherworldly powers, I managed to emerge victorious and earned Astel, the Natural Born of the Void achievement as a reward. The rest of the session was spent doing Ranni's questline and fighting Hoarah. The Hoarah boss fight was challenging due to his wide range of attacks. In his second stage, he could launch you into the air and slam you into the ground, resulting in instant death. Additionally, his frequent area of effect attacks affected the majority of the arena. However, I managed to defeat him and earn the Hoarah Warrior achievement before proceeding into the Erd Tree. Radagon of the Golden Order proved to be another challenging boss with a plethora of area of effect attacks, many of which dealt holy damage. To mitigate this holy damage, I equipped the Haligdrake Talisman Plus 2. As with previous bosses, it was a matter of learning Radagon's moveset and timing my attacks. After defeating him, I was led to the Elden Beast, a tense and beautiful fight with a smooth melody playing in the background. On my first attempt, I defeated the Elden Beast and mended the Elden Ring myself, thus becoming the Elden Lord.
The fallen leaves tell a story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall. And An age of fracture.
I earned the Elden Lord achievement and completed the run. Aw man, I did the rainy questline for nothing? I started my second playthrough of the game with a feeling of satisfaction, knowing I could finally exact my revenge. Despite entering New Game Plus mode, the enemies did not seem to have gained any significant boost in power. Additionally, I was well equipped and over level 150, giving me a clear advantage in combat. Made that grafted scion my bitch this time. Holy shit. Well, there we go. All that is golden. Holy fuck. This one attack did that much damage. Fuck him up, Mimic. There we go. Just speed running through this shit now. I'm just bullying all the bosses that fucking destroyed me before. Get fucking dunked on, lady. Damn. Get up. Alright, get wrecked. According to Steam, I have 19. I literally fought this guy less than an hour ago. Get a Mimic. Get a Mimic. Fuck him up, Mimic. Alright, piss mode. Forgot about his piss mode. Get fucked, idiot. I got installed, but now I gotta read. After that boss slaughter, the rest of this stream was me redoing the Ronnie questline. Session 13 was uneventful as Couch Baby and I spent the entire time trying to figure out the multiplayer aspect of the game. Unfortunately, we discovered that I couldn't summon him in an area where I already defeated the boss, so no achievements were earned. Let's move on. I finally finished my second run through the game and picked the right ending this time.
Right ahead.
To every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
The ending cutscenes are kind of lame, honestly. I got the Age of Stars ending and the corresponding achievement. It's like winning the lottery, but for gamers, even though the sign to summon Ronnie is literally right there. I was feeling good and wanted to try out more multiplayer stuff with my homie Couch Baby. We were like a couple of badass sword-wielding brothers. I personally felt like I was in an epic buddy cop movie, except we were both samurais and there weren't any cops involved. Couch Baby was way ahead of me in the game, so I begged him to lend me a hand. With his expert guidance, we took down Margit, Godric, and Red Wolf of Radagon. Being the amazing friend that I am, I also helped him forward with some of the bosses too. We took on Renala, and the Magma Worm together like true gaming bros. But our true test of friendship came when we faced off against Elmer of the Briar in the creepy shaded castle nestled north of the Altus Plateau. After what seemed like an eternity, we finally defeated Elmer of the Briar. We high-fived each other and teabagged the ever-loving shit out of his corpse. After that fun multiplayer stint, I went back to my single-player character and continued. The Dragonkin soldier turned out to be a pushover, with my character easily dispatching it with a few quick strikes. It was a good reminder that sometimes, even in a challenging game like Elden Ring, there are still moments of easy victory to be found. Next up on my journey, I embarked on a quest to find the two halves of a secret medallion needed for the Grand Lift of Rold. It turned out that the right half was located in a small village called the Village of the Albinarex, which I easily found and retrieved. However, the left half was a bit trickier to obtain as it was located in Castle Saul, a heavily fortified stronghold in the northern snowy region. After battling my way through Commander Neil and his forces again, I finally obtained the left half of the medallion and made my way to the Grand Lift of Rold. As I was aimlessly wandering through the fog, I stumbled upon the elusive town of Ordina. After scouring the area, I discovered an Everjail situated at the northernmost part of town. However, this was no ordinary Everjail. The platforming in this game was already frustrating, but this Everjail took it to a whole new level. To make matters worse, pesky archers would take potshots at me mid-jump, and sneaky, invisible assassins would pounce on me and stab me if they happened to cross my path. The only silver lining was that if I managed to light one of the Everjail's torches before meeting my untimely demise, it would remain lit upon my inevitable resurrection. The Halig tree is like a labyrinth on steroids. I felt like a lost mouse in the maze with no clear path to the end. Every turn led to a dead end, and the branches seemed to go on forever. It's as if the designers said, let's make a confusing area and add some poison gas just to spice things up. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, I suppose, but it's definitely easy to get lost and it feels like you're suffocating at the same time. Eventually, I came across a familiar face. Loretta, Knight of the Halig Tree. My mimic and I made quick work of her though, and I got my achievement. Next, I couldn't resist the urge to take on Malenia, so I made my way down to the bottom of the Halig Tree as quickly as possible.
I am Malenia, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
Whose defeat? Malenia proved to be quite the challenge. Every time she landed a hit, she regenerated health, making the fight even more difficult. Her waterfall dance attack was especially brutal, dealing massive damage while simultaneously healing her. Needless to say, I decided to save the fight for another stream and moved on to something else. Exploring the Volcano Manor some more, I found Eric Cartman. Killing him gave me the Godskin Noble achievement. Defeating Dragon Lord Placid Douchebag requires a lot of patience and careful dodging as he has many high damage attacks. However, with the help of my trusty mimic and a strategy of staying behind him, I was able to take him down and earned his achievement. In the area where I fought the Gargoyle duo, I found a coffin. I can't believe I missed the opportunity to ride this bad boy before. Whee! I arrived in the Deep-Root Depths. As I made my way through the area, I came across buildings with roots entwined around them, and eventually found my way up onto a cliff. I fought off Fia's champions, but I wasn't sure what my next objective was. In my confusion, I ended up killing Fia and accidentally made it impossible to spawn the Lich Dragon boss. After that, I practiced fighting Malenia again, and after dying several dozen times, I gave up on her for now. I next pursued the achievement for collecting all 6 of the legendary Ashen Remains. I already had the Mimic tier, so I didn't have to collect that one. I hope you enjoy this musical compilation of me collecting the other 5. It was finally time to take on Malenia, the goddess of rot. Given the difficulty level of New Game Plus 1, I knew I needed some help. So, I summoned Couchbaby and a fellow player to join me in this epic battle. Together we fought valiantly and eventually emerged victorious. Malenia was defeated, and I was proud to receive the highly coveted Shardbearer Malenia achievement for our triumph. Next, I seek to complete the achievement for collecting all 8 of the legendary talismans. I already had Radagon's Source Seal from the Weeping Everjail and the Moon of Noxtella from my time exploring the underground city of the same name. So, 6 left. Here's another musical compilation of me grabbing each of them. Next was the Legendary Sorceries and Incantations achievement. I did absolutely no magic so far in this run, and it shows. Next was legendary armaments, and I already had the Eclipse Shotel found in a chest in Castle Saul. Unfortunately, I could not get the last one this run because I had already made it to Crumbling Farum Azula, so I would need to wait until my next run. After climbing up the lightning bolt in the capital, I finally got my hands on the Bolt of Grand Sax, the final legendary armament. Next, I had to kill Bitch Dragon 46. I went to Deep Root Depths with the Curse Mark of Death in my inventory. I asked her to hold me and whispered in secret about the Curse Mark of Death. I summoned some allies and we slaughtered the dragon. I acquired the Lich Dragon Fortisax achievement upon his death. Next, I entered the sewers in the capital. Talk about being a rat in a maze. I had no idea where I was going the entire time, and anytime I found something, it was because pure luck. I had no idea how large the sewers were, but this brute strength character was kind enough to lead me directly to where I needed to go. With Mohg dead, I acquired the Mohg the Omen achievement, thanks to that laser beam. The next section behind Mohg is your classic Minecraft dropper map. Here's a quick compilation of me painting the ground red in here. See what I must do, shit! Okay. Oh, come on! Fucking... No! Okay, yeah. Totally missed that. Are you fucking kidding me? How do you get... Actually, something there worth getting... God, fucking... Oh, fuck. Ah. I was running. Man, yeah. Ah! I took my armor off so I could see. Oh, come on. I was holding the run. Ooh, okay. Alright, what's this? Yeah, I did it, yeah. Madness Inc. Three whole fingers. This is gross. I'm about to get fingered. Oh, my controller is vibrating. Quick, shove it up your ass while it's still vibrating. Nah, too late. Nah, I'm all burnt up. I'm a crispy boy. All I had to do was kill Radagon and the Elden Beast for the 3rd time. I became Lord of the Frenzied Flame, and all that had burdened me before was burnt out of existence. Lord of the Frenzied Flame and Elden Ring achievements were acquired, and I was finished. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I put in countless hours not only to complete the game, but also create a quality video with voiceover. If you enjoyed the content and made it this far, I would greatly appreciate it if you would show your support by voting using the link in the description, liking, and subscribing. Your feedback is highly valued and your encouragement would mean the world to me, and they motivate me to continue creating more content that you'll love. My overall opinions on Elden Ring. Elden Ring is not for the faint of heart. It's a brutal game that will test your skills and patience at every turn. But what makes it truly unique is its fairness. Whenever you die, it's ultimately your fault, not the game's. Some players might argue that a detailed tutorial would be helpful, but in my opinion, dropping the player into the world with only basic knowledge is the better method. It adds to the challenge and the sense of discovery that makes Elden Ring so satisfying to play. However, I must caution players against using a mouse and keyboard. It's simply not designed for that type of gameplay. A controller is a must if you want to get the full experience. But let's be real, not everyone has the time or inclination to invest in a game like Elden Ring. It's a game that demands a lot from its players, and if you have other things in life to take care of, there's no shame in passing on it. But to those who are up to the challenge, the rewards are more than worth it. That's all for now, gamers. Thanks for tuning in and spending some time with me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did.